you ready, lads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wait for it to do, its usual loading thing. And go.
Hang on.
Oh,
You
sorry.
said we've got to do you're doing the titles.
Oh, sorry.
Roll the title.
God's sake.
Okay,
Hello
and go.
Hello and welcome to the post-match football central for Man United and Tottenham. I can't wait to talk about this. I wasn't meant to be involved in this at all, but I didn't realise when the game finished. I am Jordan. I'm going to be your host tonight, and joining me is Sam Taylor. Hello, Sam.
Hello, I was the former host before. We're showing it around as Tube Mix is no, still not feeling too good. So
I was just gonna get. We'll say hello to Will as well. How are you doing, Will?
Hello there. Quite grotty, but good.
Okay, you take a back seat, mate. We'll look after things. Don't worry.
Okay, I trust you guys 100%.
For those of you who don't know, the final score was Tottenham 6 and Man United 1. I can't believe I'm saying that, to be honest. I've literally just finished work, so I've only just seen the highlights. I'd also like to say just quickly, if you can hear any moving about, I'm literally in the car on the way back from work. So yeah. Sam, you watched the game. Just before we get into the prayer ratings, what's your thoughts?
What's my thoughts? Not a lot really. I thought Tottenham, we started great on the front foot. Davinson Sancho slid in. It seems so long ago now. I think it was on Rashford. In the first 30 seconds, and it was a great start for the Reds. They looked good. The goal Tottenham conceded was a mess. Quite like the defences have been at the moment, and there goes Tube Mix's squeaky dog again. But from then on, Tottenham dominated. Tottenham got back in the game straight away. A massive mix-up between Maguire and Shaw to allow Ndombele to slot home between the two of them. It was a mess. Luke Shaw's positioning was awful all match, and the defence was all over the place. Going forward, we were okay, considering the defence was so leaky. I thought forward players,
what was the red
other
card
than Martial, who got so from the corner, the corner was about to be taken, the Tottenham corner, and Lamella went down off the ball. I didn't think anything of it at first, but it soon became apparent that Lamella had sort of tapped Martial in the net. Martial had reacted to it and lashed out and slapped Lamella across the face, who went down like an idiot. But for me, they both were as bad as each other, so they both should have been sent off. But I don't want to to take. I don't want to take away from the Tottenham performance, because at that point Tottenham were still were 2-1 up. So I don't think the alright might not have been 6-1, but Tottenham were all over us. Defensively we looked awful, and considering we lost our striker, when you lose your striker, you can still, if you lose a midfielder or a centre half, it leaves gaping holes.
I see what you mean.
For the other team to attack. But when you lose a striker, you can still have the shape. You can still have the shape of the team, and you can still have the shape of the team intact. You've still got your midfield there.
Absolutely.
You've still got 2 attacking players. So yes, it's harder, but in many ways, not that anybody wants to lose a man, but your striker's probably your best player to lose, if that makes sense, because your team's still intact defensively, and probably won't get overrun that often. Having said that, I don't want to talk about the red card. So I don't want to talk about the red card so much, because I think we were just awful, to be honest. Red card aside, the team lacked energy, passion, gave away some stupid fouls. Bailly got caught out on a couple of goals. Shaw's positioning made Aurier look like a world beater, and they profited a lot down our right, down our left there, right. Maguire looked well off it, but the whole of the back four did. Every single one of them. I think that we were just, we were absolutely well off it from start to finish, other than the first minute. I think the defence, like we said, the defence just looked terrible. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
Players throwing themselves at the ball. There was an instance where Wan-Bissaka threw himself at the ball, completely missed it, and Keane ended up, the lad, I think it was Reguilon, ended up crossing it, and Keane ended up scoring. And it was just the same story all the way through. I know you want to do the player ratings, but for United players, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
I imagine, based on what I saw,
complete lack of discipline, complete lack of composure. So I was just going to say complete lack of discipline, complete lack of composure. The players didn't fight. I know it's hard when you got a man sent off, but that's still no excuse. We were just absolutely dreadful with 10 and 11. The more worrying thing, Gary Neville said it in commentary, the more worrying thing was how poor we were at the time Martial got sent off with 11 men. Obviously, that was the more worrying thing, because Tottenham were just on top, and it obviously carried on that way. And as a Man United fan, and somebody who loves Manchester United and wants to see us get forward, go forward as a club, I mean, we were just absolutely appalling. So yeah, but fair play to Tottenham. Fair play to it's very easy to sit here and say, well, United could have done this, defended this, and done that. But Tottenham did what they needed to do. They were ruthless, and they could have won about 12-1.
Sorry, Tottenham seemed so aggressive from what I've seen. So aggressive and so hungry for the ball. And we've talked a lot about Mourinho, us as a unit. United were poor, but you still have to be able to capitalise, and I think obviously Spurs did that. Talking about the player ratings, you know, we know it's going to be ones and twos across the board. I'm sure. You know, I was looking at the United player ratings on BBC Sport, and it was literally like ones and twos, and Bruno Fernandes was the only person with over a two. Obviously, we had a really interesting conversation earlier on, Sam, when the three of us were talking earlier. But after Will went, we had a really interesting conversation about the United transfer situation, and I'm looking forward to getting into that. To be honest, I don't see much point in doing the player ratings due to how poorly United played. It's up to you what you want to do, mate.
I'm interested. Yeah, well,
I think you should still do them anyway, boys. I think.
This is not the way, but it is. Yeah, I do. It is a trademark of this show.
It's part of extra time, so yeah.
So,
do you want me to do them or you? I'm literally typing in Manchester Evening News, so I can do them if you like.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. My head's still mashed with it all, so I'm very angry.
Just
it needs
bear with
neutral to do it. I mean, I don't know what tube mix. I've not really asked his opinion, and I know you're not well tube mix, so but I just wondered what your reaction.
No, it's okay. I can give a brief, short reaction. Dreadful. They need to all of their heads banged together, and let's see where we are after the international break. So with that, I'll hand over to, I think, JLI Wheels for the player ratings and for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put some fair warning in here. It's not good reading. It's not good reading.
No.
Well, start with David De Gea. A lamb to the slaughter, not visibly at fault for any of the goals, and had the misfortune of playing behind William Prunier, impressionist. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure it can't be anybody good. Aaron Wan-Bissaka had to be told when to go forward again, and Heung-min Son dominated him. Been out of form since he came back. 2. Eric Bailly. Bailly's return, although deserved, went as badly as anyone could have predicted. All over the place for some of the goals and could not neuter Son or Harry Kane. 2. Harry Maguire. The worst performance of his career. Haphazard defending, clumsy tackling, and too cumbersome to keep up with Son, Kane, and Tanguy and Ndombele. 1. Luke Shaw abandoned his station time and time again, and Tottenham scored a couple of goals down his side. Utterly humiliated, would have been sent off. 0. I've never seen anybody get a 0 out of 10. Nemanja Matic. Tottenham preyed on Matic's immobility, and he looked like he just couldn't keep up with their fast breaks. Hooked off at the interval. 2. Poor Pogba, bulldozed by compatriot Ndombele, and so casual at times. Conceded a penalty and did not vindicate his starting role after performing in midweek to Brighton. 1. Bruno Fernandes scored the opener but conceded possession time and time again. Tottenham were too quick-witted for Hernandez, substituted at half-time. 3. Mason Greenwood could not get into the game whatsoever amid Tottenham's quick counter-attacking, just as well as he has a 2-week rest. 3. Marcus Rashford hit the post, although he was eventually flagged offside, out of sorts yet again, and could not reinvigorate United. 3. Martial stupidly sent off for reacting to Eric Lamela at 2-1, and United folded like cards. Suspended for 3 league games. 2. Fred did not excel in the damage limitation exercise. 4. Scott McTominay, same as Fred. 4. Donny van der Beek came on late enough not to be tarnished with the same brush. 5. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The team Solskjaer selected was logical enough, and he was let down by individual errors, but he did nothing as Spurs ran riot in the first half, and by then the game was over. 2. Pretty dismal reading if you're a United fan. Oh, you want the Tottenham ones?
Football.london would probably be the best place.
Yeah.
My advice would be for you to do them, because I'm literally like 2 minutes away from my house, and obviously when I get out, I've got to leave for like 5 minutes to get sorted.
So I think JLI Wheels is right there, everyone. It was shambolic at times. Pogba gave away a penalty, but also was at fault for one of the goals as well. For not tracking back, he handballed back and allowed Sergio Aurier to score. Which is right. I'm just gonna look for the player ratings for Spurs, because we like to be
quick one.
Fair on this show.
Latest scores is Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 0.
Ooh.
After 4 minutes.
So
Ollie Watkins. Oh, it might have been ruled.
It's what?
It might have just been ruled out. Hang on. Oh no, it is Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 0.
Wow.
It's only 4 minutes in. I can imagine Liverpool will win that one. Anyway, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I just need to like get in the house and sorted. You good without me, Sam?
So, yeah, go for it, bud.
Okay. Right, see you.
So, see you in a minute. So, for the second time today, I am now your host. Now that JLA Wheels has had to vacate because he's just got home. So I am Sam Taylor, and I'm just looking at for the Tottenham's player ratings being Man United. Just give me 1 second. Internet's very slow. So I don't know if you want to get in touch. This seems like a very good game because there's lots of talking points, particularly bad from a United perspective. So there's lots of talking points that you can talk about. So please write comments if you've got something you want to bring up or say about the game. So we've done the Man United ones. So let me just go to Tottenham Hotspur. So Tottenham, Hugo Lloris. Hugo Lloris got a 6. Didn't have much to do and came for a few crosses. An easy outing. That's a 6 for Hugo Lloris. Can you hear me all right, Tube Mix?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah? Good.
Yeah.
Just making sure. Sergio Aurier got an 8. Scored a sublime goal, which Papa was at fault for in the second half, and was involved throughout down the right. Yep, they destroyed us down there right or left. Eric Dyer got a 7. Solid enough, but Man United still had a few chances behind him in the first half. Davinson Sanchez 6, gave away a penalty kick early on and needs to be more consistent. Sergio Aurier 7, great outing at left back and provided consistent outlet going forward. Musa Sissoko 7, did all of the dirty work well and walked all over Pogba. He did. Pogba was terrible, as I've said. Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg, who I thought had his best game for Tottenham, but if he's looking good, because I don't rate him, if he's looking good, then I could play football. Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg 8. Dominant display, won the ball back so many times. He is back in his stride. Tonge and Dembele 8 scored in the first half. Unbelievably poor defending from United. Buzzed around Man United's defence and continued his good form. Alec Lamela 6 got Martial sent off with a clever piece of sportsmanship. This is definitely a Tottenham line. It wasn't sportsmanship, it was cheating. With sportsmanship, and Mourinho smartly took him off at half time. That was a very good decision. Harry Kane 9 scored 2, created 2, created so many chances. Kane looked sharp and lean, brilliant display. Heung-min Son 9 scored 2 consistent threats. Could have scored 4 or 5. A surprise inclusion as he was rushed back from injury. And then the substitutions, Lucas Moura 6, a threat on the break, and added another dimension to Spurs' attack. Dele Alli 6, a few nice flicks and got stuck in. Ben Davies 6, won a penalty kick and as solid as a rock, and that as ever. And that is the Tottenham player ratings, which I think we can all agree were in stark contrast to Man United. Well, Man United's display. And that's reflected in the player ratings there. I have to say, I don't know if J.I. Wheels heard what I said about Højbjerg, but he looked like a world beater, and I don't rate him at all. I really don't. I think he's dead average.
I think he's a great
He's a good player. No, he's dead average. Dead average. So the fact he looked good sums up our day, really. I think we're in trouble. There's not. I'll tell you what. There's not much difference between a Man United and a Brighton. If you take the way Brighton have played in the first three games, yeah, they might not be as clinical as Man United. But I'll tell you, if they had a Danny Ings in their side, they'd slaughter us. They'd be well above us in the table. And I can see us on that display. If we don't get our act together, and I know it's only one game, but I've seen 3 United games now where Crystal Palace destroyed us. Fair enough, first game of the season, no excuse, but still, probably a lack of fitness. Brighton, and they ran riot. Brighton hit the bar, 4 times, and should have won the game.
And another day, Brighton would have won it.
Well, yeah, and we got a late. I say lucky because it happened. We were lucky in the fact the ref brought it back after he blew the whistle, even though it was a penalty. So we escaped there. And today was torrid. Torrid, wretched, and abysmal. Today is the first time, and Patrice Evra said it, I feel ashamed to be a Man United fan because I think we're a laughing stock. Some of our defending, we're an absolute laughing stock today, and you can say, well, that Ollie hasn't had the signings. Fair enough, he's not been, he's not.
Yeah, but I think
he's not.
The problem is, it goes past that, doesn't it? Because, sorry to butt in as well, Stan. The problem is, it goes past that. I saw something that summed it up perfectly, and it was a meme, and it said Tellez and Cavani watching United right now, and it was a plane doing a U-turn. And if that was me, yeah, please come out in his post-match comment.
Yeah.
We must get the best out of the squad. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You must get the best out of the squad. Getting the best out of the squad. You've got to get the best out of the current players.
I agree.
We think about it. I was talking about Luke Shaw earlier on to you.
Yeah.
I was talking about Luke Shaw earlier on. Actually, it wasn't even to you. It was to my manager, who's a United fan, and I told him that United were going to win 6-0 because Spurs get no luck. But there we go. I said, think about the player Luke Shaw was before he broke his leg. But not just that. I think in some ways Mourinho completely ruined his confidence. I like Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw could still have a great career. I think people forget he's only 24, 25. That's young for a player still. But I think he needs to do it away from Manchester United because obviously he's lost his spark there. Bailly, we've said it. He's never looks fully fit. Never. Other than that, I do think he's a good defender. Maguire, how United got robbed Leicester. Well, how Leicester robbed United of 80 million from Maguire, I don't know. I've never seen such a poor defensive. Supposedly, United's best defender. It was absolutely abysmal. Right back Wan-Bissaka has not since the restart. Matic was a bit all over the shop, but he's slow. He's an older player. There's not that much you can do about that. It's bad when Bruno Fernandes has a bad game. Go on.
Yeah, and I would just like to pick up on what you say there, JLI Wheels, that we talk about the that United haven't signed any players, and I agree it stopped the momentum and all that. But we've got to remember we're talking about every player on that pitch today is an international footballer. They're internationals. Yeah. Every United player is an international footballer. De Gea, an international footballer. Maguire, Bailly. All right, Wan-Bissaka's not really been in the senior squad much, but he's still an international level.
Yeah.
So, and everybody is. So you look at Sheffield United, who have a few internationals, maybe half the team, but look at what they did last season, and we've got our squad's probably worth what? I don't know exactly, 300 million, 350
Surely.
million, I guess.
No, I reckon more than that.
And we're moaning. Well, if you think Pogba cost 100 million,
Pogba and Maguire were 180 million. Martial 60 million. That's 240. Luke Shaw was 30 million. That's 270. Don't know how much Bailly cost. Wan-Bissaka was 30 or 40 million. That's 300. Don't know how much Bruno Fernandes cost. I think it was about 50 million, wasn't it? That's 350. Matic cost. I think Matic was free, wasn't he? And then you've got whoever United on the bench.
No, Matic wasn't free. But the point I'm trying to make is I get with the signings, I get when Chelsea are making them, but and all this, but we've still got international. Every player's an international. We paid 80 million for Harry Maguire. We paid 100 million for Pogba. I take De Gea out of it today because poor lad, no wonder his confidence is so.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much. Right? There wasn't too much he could have done, was there? Really?
he was angry as well. I've not seen him that angry for a while. But I mean, you know the you look at the money that has been spent by United, and I just think it's absolutely atrocious that we are that we put in a display like that. I can take getting beat. I have no problem with getting beat, and I have no problem with players and teams having an off day, because I've been there. You know, I play a level of football, and I've been there where the whole team's on an off day, and I've had a stinker. So I know what it's like.
6-1 though is embarrassing. 6-1's embarrassing.
One thing. No, it's not even the scoreline, Dawn. All right, it's upsetting to get beat 6-1, but I'm not. You know, it is what it is. It's that every team I've played in, what a given is that you give 100%. You're gonna have days when you're not on it. You know, it's natural. It's part of sport. Everybody has it. But they did not give the Pogba ambling back for their Serge Aurier's goal. He ambled back. Didn't give. You know, oh, I might go with him. Oh, I might get there, but I might not. Oh, I didn't. Oh dear, he scored. You know, it's effort. No football fan is bothered. Well, they are bothered, but no football fan is going to moan if you give 100% and get beat, even 6-1. It's the effort and the attitude of the players that was wrong. And I'm not just saying that, but it was a lack of quality. I just mean that we didn't run around. We didn't, you know, like I've said, no, last point now, but we had a striker sent off, which meant the whole shape of this team was still there. It wasn't like we lost the centre half, and there was or a full back, and there was a big gaping hole. But it's like the end of the world. We just didn't run. Anyway, that's enough. I'm sick of talking about it. Somebody else take over.
Weird one, isn't it? Because, excuse me, sorry, I'm eating my tears while going. I'm trying to be quiet as possible. It's weird, isn't it? Because this is my only criticism of De Gea, and this was the point I was about to make. Is with the gaps in United's defence, surely your goalkeeper can see that. And I feel like that's an issue with De Gea.
Well, yeah, that's what we were discussing. That's what we were discussing last week, wasn't it? That your keeper can see everything that goes on. So.
He's not vocal at all. He's not. I mean, you know, against Luton and whoever else it was, United played Brighton. You know, you can hear Dean Henderson. He's literally, it's like a dog. He's barking orders. He's shouting. He wants them. You know, so he can see everything, and so the tight. I just think you'd be saying, what the fuck was that? Even after the first goal, you'd be saying, what was that? I just don't understand. You know, clearly you could see.
Yeah, exactly. You
for
look
example,
at somebody.
The gap.
You look at somebody like Connor. You look at somebody like Connor Cody. They say the voice you can always hear is Connor Cody, and he doesn't like the standards drop. So, carry on.
Sorry. Yeah. The gap between Maguire and Bailly was that's a standard lower than Sunday League, mate. And it's the fact that Matic was covering your centre half, and I don't know whether it's because of the defensive positioning, but Luke Shaw is always in a really strange position where he's coming across almost to play the centre half, and you can't do that.
It was Marcus Alonso time.
The thing is you can't. If you're a fullback and your centre half is out of position, in a situation where your fullback, isn't really. It's not the job of the fullback in that particular instance of play to go and cover your centre half. You should not be, as a fullback, instantly thinking, "Oh no, trouble here." Go on, Sam. Sorry.
Just to update you, sorry. Aston Villa are 2-0 up against Liverpool. Ollie Watkins with the second goal, a beautiful curling shot.
No way.
2-0 Aston Villa. 24 minutes gone. I think he scored phenomenal. On the 22nd minute. It was a great goal. Great goal. That first goal was obviously giving him the confidence. And Villa are playing really well. But Villa have yet to concede a Premier League goal, haven't they, this season? I think.
I don't actually know, to be honest.
They beat Sheffield United 1-0. They beat Sheffield United. They beat Sheffield United 1-0. They beat Fulham 3-0, and this is their third game, so they've not conceded a goal yet.
I mean, we've said a lot about the
now, though. Could change now. Sorry.
Said a lot about the unpredictability of the Premier League, and no, I did not see 6-1 coming, and I did not see Villa 2-0 up at Liverpool. However, I still think Liverpool will probably win it, but I like Villa. I like the team. I like what they're doing. That being said, we are talking about United. Somebody that I quite like from what I've seen of the highlights was Ndombele. I know you're not up to that bit in the documentary, but there's a big part of the Amazon Prime Tottenham documentary where it's all about Tanguy and Ndombele and how he's struggling to fit in. His first season obviously was really disappointing. A £60 million signing, and he never did it. He scored in his debut a great goal against Villa. But he seemed to run Pogba wild today.
3-1 win.
Yeah, I remember that.
You did. I mentioned that before the game actually, and I saw his inclusion in the team. I said to the viewers that he looks like he's settled in now and is improving, and today he proved it. So, yeah.
Do you think? Obviously, we had a similar thing for Chelsea against West Brom. Do you think when there are individual errors in a team, do you think there is much that a manager can do in real time? Obviously, we saw Lampard do it to great effect. Three individual errors, and then he pulled the majority of the players off, and that made the difference. But obviously, if the entire team's not at the races, there's not too much Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can do. I think he is going to come under flack.
Yeah.
Obviously, because 6-1's embarrassing.
I always say you can, with 11 on the pitch, 10 outfield players, you can always have one or, well, maybe not in the top game, but you can always have one or two that aren't at the races, because you can always sub them. And the team can still play well. But when you get 5, 6, 7, 8 that aren't playing well, then it becomes a problem, because it spreads through the rest of the team. The whole team didn't play well today. They didn't play well as a team. I've had it where I've had shocking games, but the team has actually played quite well. So all they do is take me off, and the team, because it was playing well, still plays well. But when you've got the whole team that's not on it, then there's not a lot you can do as a manager. You can sit at half time and bark out there and go back to basics, keep the ball for 5 minutes, just work your way out of it. But the players have to sort that out themselves on the pitch, and it's very difficult once you start playing badly to get yourself out of playing badly, because it sort of sets in. Same as if you play well. You know, if your team plays well, then even players that are not the best players in that team, like Aurier, like Hojbjerg, they play well as well because the players around them are playing well. And it's the same when you're not playing well. You can afford one or two or three, maybe at a push, but you can sub them. And you can visibly see that. But when the whole team's not playing well, what do you do if you're the manager? You can't take the whole team off. Because he could have subbed any one of them today other than De Gea, who didn't really have a chance. So all 10 outfield players, any one of them could have been subbed. But unfortunately, in football, you can't take 10 players off and put 10 new ones on. You can only make 3 subs. So what do? You just have to accept that the team are not playing well. The only thing, this goes again, and I accept that, the only thing I won't accept is certain players didn't try. And that's where I have an issue. Because no matter how badly the team played, you can still put 100% in. That should be a minimal requirement to put 100% in. Even when you're playing bad. You might give the ball away. You might give the ball away 50 times. Villa nearly scored again. Barkley nearly scored.
I have got a couple of questions. Sorry, Sam. I have got a couple of questions. The biggest one being, ever since Moyes, United have been on this weird. I don't know if I would say it as a decline, but I think you sort of look at it. There's been spells where they played well. When Ollie first came in, but it's only ever really seemed like a downward slope for United. And I think a lot's been made of transfers, but you look at what the ones that have been made. Fernandes signing was obviously, it changed the face of United as a team. Matic coming in was a great signing back when he first came in, and Van der Beek could do well. Pogba coming back was the signing of the summer. I think you kind of know what I'm trying to get at. I don't think it is. A lot of people are making we're going to get into the United transfer situation. We are. There's developments. Apparently the Tellers deal's agreed. He's flying to Manchester soon. Apparently Cavani is in Manchester right now. I just wouldn't fucking go. I don't see the point. But we'll get onto that soon. But what I'm wondering is...
2-1. 2-1. Salah scored. Mo Salah. I've just got my dinner. Can you take it from here, or do you still feel like you don't know enough about the game?
I can go for it on what I want to talk about. Are you going to come back?
Yeah, I'll come back once I'm finished.
Yeah. If Will's alright to step in just to sort of agree with what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
I don't need you to talk. I just need you to sort of okay, agree, and maybe say one or two things back to me.
Yeah. That's fine. I'll do my best.
And we'll pick up on the point I was gonna make. We'll pick up when you come back, Sam. Anyway, yeah. So what I was saying was, it's kind of weird for United.
It'll be about 10 minutes.
Okay, it's kind of weird for United. They're on this up down slope. Like I said, the transfers United have made. I want to say very first what I mean by the transfers they made. I mean on paper, what they've done is some very good deals. Bailly was an excellent defender. As was Lindelof at the time. They were both highly rated. Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Fernandes, Pogba. You know what I mean? So there's definitely that expectation there and the knowledge that they are good players and have that ability. So for you, in your opinion, what is it that caused this for United?
Well, I'm not sure. For me, it's the fat pig, which is Ed Woodward. I think it's his fault because it's not the Glazers, because when Ferguson was there, the Glazers took over the club in 2005 and United was still doing successful then. So it's Woodward, I think.
Yeah, but do you think that the Glazers had more confidence in Fergie to, use their money wisely and invest in players that were going to win the league? You think about signings United made over those Nani, Vidic,
Yep.
players like that, Berbatov,
Ferdinand, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, not in the Glazer era. It's 2005, but
sorry.
So they've definitely made. Do you think that could be a factor to it that the Glazers don't have the belief in the project to back the manager, and then Ed Woodward then the same to give the money?
I personally don't think the Glazers particularly give us stuff particularly. You never see them in the stadium. Yeah, I don't think they care.
They get a lot of stick, don't they, the Glazers?
Yeah. David Gill, he should have never left the same time as Ferguson. He should have stayed after Ferguson retired, and then it should have been done gradually because David Gill was a massive influence as well.
I think it's very difficult, isn't it? The Ferguson era coming to an end was always going to be a struggle. Same as with Arsenal with Wenger. Yeah, Wenger as a manager, I feel definitely lost the backing of the fans.
Whether Ferguson didn't.
Yeah, lost the backing of the players. Sorry, I'm just eating as well.
No, that's all right.
Lost the backing of the owners. I feel like with Wenger, the writing was on the wall that he had to leave at some point.
Yeah.
Whereas with Ferguson, it was his choice. I think they would have happily have carried on. But with that being said, I know things didn't go well for Moyes. And I know that your opinion on it is that he shouldn't have been given more time. He needed to go.
No, Ferguson was an absolute fool thinking he was the right man. Absolute fool.
But he has done good with clubs since United.
Well, only West Ham.
He's not done amazingly. Obviously, he got Sunderland relegated.
Oh, well, Sunderland have been struggling anyway. That's before and after him.
And he didn't do very much at all with Sociedad.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he went there, yeah.
And I feel like he's done okay with West Ham. You look at again, we're talking about on paper, and on paper doesn't really do much, but you look at the calibre of signings that he's brought in. Obviously, I feel like the owners of West Ham believe in Moyes and his project.
Well, it seems to be, yeah.
Another win for them today.
Yeah. We'll discuss those more, obviously, on the roundup.
The review show, absolutely, we will.
Yeah.
With that being said, it's definitely difficult. Bear with me one sec, Will.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's definitely difficult to understand why it has gone wrong for them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. It is a hard one.
Sorry about that. I just
No, that's all right.
what was I saying? Yeah, it's hard to see why it's gone wrong. I don't know, because United in general are a completely different team now to the Ferguson era. You know, you look at who's still there from then.
Not many.
You know, De Gea, who's completely a different
He's grabbing
player.
by the skin of his teeth there.
Yeah. I think for any player to concede 6, there's no way he'll start in the league next time, even if he wasn't at fault.
Yeah,
There's
Henderson's got to come in, yeah. Henderson's got to
be Henderson, you know.
Yeah.
Solskjaer has got to make those tough decisions.
Yes.
You know,
he hasn't got a ruthless bone in his body.
People are going to want to see changes, even if
yes,
De Gea wasn't at fault. You know, you can't allow a goalkeeper to concede 6 goals 1 minute and then be in net the next. You know what I mean? It's just wrong.
Give Axel Tuanzebe a chance. He'll be fit after the international break.
I really don't understand why he's not even making the bench. I mean, I know
he's been injured.
Oh, has he been injured? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't realise that. I've asked you about Tuanzebe. I have asked you about Tuanzebe a couple of times and you've never told me. So yeah, that's the first time
sorry,
I've heard
apologies. Yeah, I like Tuanzebe.
Because I think that's not a bad idea to just, you know, give him a go. Why not?
Yeah.
At a time where you've just been dismantled 6-1, your defence looks all over the shop. Your midfield
give Van der Beek a start as well.
Got absolutely destroyed. But yeah, could you imagine starting Van der Beek, right? Starting Van der Beek instead of Matic, and it was him that got destroyed by Tottenham's midfield. People would have rinsed Van der Beek.
Well, that's why probably.
I feel like it was very, you know, it was the right thing to do in a game against a big club to not bring on Van der Beek. That's what I think, to not start Van der Beek. Obviously, he came on. Apparently, he didn't do much. He wasn't on long enough to have a poor game.
No. Well, he needs to start at a useless Paul Pogba.
I think the thing is, though, like, it's been said before, we've said it when we've talked about Van der Beek. Matic is a great defensive midfielder.
But he's not a young player.
But he's lost so much of his pace. And with that, you know, players in the Premier League now, the top players are a different class.
Yes.
You're talking about Heung-min Son and Harry Kane.
Yeah.
You know, they're 2 of the best in the league. You know, 2 of the best in Europe, 2 of the best in the world, you could even say. So, do you really expect a 33-year-old man to run that midfield when Paul on his own, if Paul Pogba wants to just dot about?
No.
You know,
Matic is the last of the old style players.
I think it's difficult because I think, you know, I feel like the international break has come at a great time for United because
yes,
they're gonna need that break because it's gonna, depending on what he says to them, and I wonder what he would have said, but it is gonna break morale.
Yes. And yeah, there needs to be a couple of few changes. Ole really needs to shake them up, he does.
I was saying to Sam earlier.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I don't know, maybe, you know, I keep thinking about Luke Shaw. You know, I think, again, it's correct to say, well, how much more would Brandon Williams have done? I don't think he would have done much more.
Yeah. Yeah, well, to me, I think United should have played with a back three today. I'm sure by Maguire in a back three, because Shaw always does better in a back three. And, yeah.
Who's to say? who's to say it wouldn't have ended the same?
That is true. But then Tottenham were playing with a back five. And I think if United matched them... Well, I don't know, Wan-Bissaka, like you said, hasn't looked the same. And I think they need a new right back. They do. In fact, Max Adams from Norwich, they should try and get him.
It's funny, isn't it? They've just loaned Dallo out.
Yes.
Which is interesting because obviously we talked after the Brighton Carabao Cup game, or whenever we did talk.
Yeah.
I don't think we did post-match for that, did we? And we said about...
can't remember.
In the pre-match, we said about that being Dallo's chance to maybe play to get in the first team.
Yeah.
Bear with me 1 second again, Will.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we did. I only saw the first half because I headed to bed for the second half, so I can't remember if... But Dallo certainly looks quite good to me.
Well, he's gone to AC Milan, which is not a bad...
No, not a bad club at all.
They're doing incredibly well. Villa are 4-1 up, by the way.
Oh my God, you're kidding?
Watkins hat-trick.
You're having a laugh. That's got to be a Halloween trick or treat.
No.
My God, I would never. Well done, Villa. I think they definitely won't have to worry about relegation. I mean, Ross Barkley, he'll shine for this club because the pressure will be off him. The thing with Chelsea is, no disrespect to Villa, but Chelsea is a really, really big club. And, the pressure for playing for Chelsea is huge. So I think Barkley will shine for Villa.
It's very, very interesting, right? Because I struggle to understand. I mean, it's something we've said a lot, but it's the more or less to say it still means the same thing. I don't understand at all what's going on with. I don't understand at all what's going on with the league this year. It's been all over the place. If Villa hold on, which they could do,
that would be an amazing result. I mean, City, United, if Liverpool slipped, what's happening here?
I mean, we looked at the Arsenal result, didn't we? One, we did live coverage of it, and two, we looked at it in the review.
Wait, what? The one against Sheffield United? Oh, sorry, no, you mean Arsenal, the one against Liverpool. Sorry, yeah.
And I just, we said that day that we just couldn't see the league going to anybody but Liverpool.
No.
It's weird because Liverpool losing, Leicester losing,
God, yeah,
opens up the league for Everton, which is, it's weird to think, but it's still true.
Do you know, if Everton do win the league, it would actually be quite nice for a change, actually.
It would be something completely different. They've not won the league since the 80s, I believe, under Howard Kendall.
In our whole time on this planet, we have never seen Everton win the league.
Yeah, but just to go back to United again, I really want to talk about transfers, but I wanted to wait till Sam comes back.
Yeah, hopefully Sam won't be too long, because then I can let him,
We're saying about the unpredictability of the Premier League. I don't get what it is. A lot of teams are making mistakes. We saw City make mistakes against Leicester. We saw United making mistakes today. Palace against Chelsea. Chelsea against West Brom.
Yeah. I was spot on with the Chelsea result, didn't I? Say 4-0, I think.
I think you did actually, didn't you?
Yeah. Not with the players scoring, but I was spot on with that.
We should have a Super 6 league, and whoever wins gets money.
Don't promote gambling, Mr. Eartham.
Right. Gamble every day of the week. Not really, I've never done it in my life.
No, don't waste your money.
I'd only put like £1 or £2 on.
Anyway.
Out of interest, who is injured for United?
Only Axel Tuanzebe is the only long-term absentee that has been.
That's
no,
interesting.
Phil Jones is still injured. What a surprise!
Yeah, but like, let's face it, Phil Jones isn't phenomenal, is he?
No, he should be a physio when he retires.
The thing that I don't understand about certain players that have been at United for a long time, we're just going to, again, I've talked a lot about Chris Smalling recently. We're going to go back to that. Smalling, Jones, and we'll talk about the players that have been at United for a long, long time. Smalling, Jones, De Gea.
Yeah. Excuse me.
There's one more that I'm thinking of, but I don't know who it is.
Rojo?
No. I said Smalling. I said Smalling and Jones, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Smalling, Jones, De Gea. I think that's it, isn't it? That's it.
It is, because Young went in January.
Do you know what? He's playing so well for Inter Milan.
Yeah,
And Sanchez is doing okay.
Well, right. Is he doing okay, but not still on the same level that he was at Arsenal? Then
I don't think. The thing is, I don't think he's ever going to reach that level. Anyway, the point I was the point I was trying to make, was all those players from the Ferguson era. Smalling's going to go. If Jones doesn't go, I'd be surprised. But I think because he's injured, he's probably not going to go.
No one's going to buy him.
In that same breath, the only one you've got left then, let's say if Jones leaves, for example, or doesn't play because he's injured, or whatever, the only player you've got left then is De Gea, and he looks completely devoid of confidence. Yeah. He looks a shell of the player, but again, just to be fair to De Gea, we've said it already, not at fault for any of the goals. I know. I'd like to think that if Dean Henderson was in net, he would have organised his back line a bit better.
Yes.
But we've talked about the lack of a vocal United keeper.
Yeah.
And how Dean Henderson would fit in there perfectly.
Yeah, because he is a vocal keeper.
Oh, he shouts some balls all the time.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Literally just had my last bite.
All right. What have you got for tea?
Sunday dinner.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
But we've started having... This is way off topic, but I'll tell you just because it's amazing.
No, it's all right. People
We started having gammon instead of chicken, and it's great. But yeah. So... I think Henderson would be the right choice. What do you think? Why do you think Ndombele got the better of Pogba today?
That's an interesting one because Ndombele he's struggled, hasn't he, since he arrived from Lyon?
Yeah. I'm only here. I'm hosting today. I'm only here to ask the interesting questions, mate.
Yeah. I know you're doing a fantastic job because my voice is hardly barely up to it, but yeah, I'm not sure it's a hard one.
If you could give me a reason, what would you say?
Just Pogba Paul made him look how good he is because I'm still not convinced by Ndombele. In fact, I'm not really convinced by Spurs today, particularly under Mourinho long term. Because they've been a bit all over the place. I mean, they didn't do well against... Oh, what was their first game of the season when they got absolutely battered? Who did they play against?
First game of the season?
They got absolutely battered, I think.
Who Spurs played already? Tottenham versus Southampton, they won.
Oh, sorry, yes, they did. Sorry, yeah, they did. No, it was the second game, I think. They got absolutely battered.
Second game, they were robbed by VAR.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Was it the third game? Oh, no. I'm pretty sure there was a match they played recently which they've been... Maybe I've just imagined that, maybe.
Pretty certain the Spurs are unbeaten at the minute, aren't they? 2 wins and a draw.
Let's see. So what have we had?
No, that's right.
Spurs... Oh no, sorry, yeah, because Tottenham 5, Southampton 2. That's what I was thinking of. Oh, sorry, I was thinking they got battered. Yeah, never mind.
Spurs are unbeaten at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think again we talked a lot about Mourinho, but it's good to see. It's good to see that today they've had that killer instinct where they've jumped upon mistakes and made them count. Because other teams sometimes if a team folds or a team makes a mistake, it's hard for the other team to capitalise, or they don't really know what to do with the chance. But Spurs were clinical. And to score 6 against United is obviously great. What I'm going to do is you can sort of just chill for a bit, because I was going to wait for Sam to talk about the transfer situation, but it's getting to the point where we've been talking for at least an hour and 15 minutes now. I think an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it's something that I feel is really important.
Okay, go on then, and maybe if Sam comes back, then you can also talk about it with him. Maybe.
I'm gonna ask you a question now, first, and then you can talk. I'll talk. Oh, here he is. Is he?
Hi boys, I'm back after another extraordinary first half at Villa Park, 4-1 to Aston Villa.
Okay, and with that, I'll hand you back to Jerli Wheels and Sam Taylor for the rest of the show.
Thank you very much, and great timing, because I've just let my dogs out, so now we can be uninterrupted, and I've literally just finished my tea as well. So,
what's happening? Liverpool conceding 4 goals in the first half.
The big thing for me, firstly, can you remember what we were talking about beforehand? Because I feel like we were in the middle of a point that I wanted to make, but I can't remember.
We were talking about the fact that United still have a load of international players, weren't we?
Oh yeah, I remember. What I was going to ask you, and I asked Will, and he sort of gave me the answer that I think you're going to give me, but we'll see. I said that obviously post Fergie, United have been on a weird on a weird path. I know for the viewers watching, I've said this 3 times, and I'm sorry about that. United have been on a weird path, under David Moyes. They had good times and bad under Van Gaal. They had good times and bad under Mourinho. They had good times and bad. And under Ollie, they've had good times and bad. But you look at the, people are going to say,
Mourinho.
People are going to say it's lack of transfers and blah blah blah. But you look at the players they brought in: Maguire, Matic, Andes, Pogba. Lindelof and Bailly were very high when they first came in. Wan-Bissaka. To me, it can't be. This particular window is definitely about strengthening. But for the United team that we saw today, and the United team that we've seen for the past couple of seasons under Ollie and things, that on paper is a decent team. If throwing Greenwood, throwing Rashford, throwing Martial, that should be a team that should challenge, and it's just not working at all. And I just wondered what your opinion of that was, Sam. Why is that?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. I mean, I think the whole club's, not in a good place. We're in. Let's forget about the football pitch for a minute. Things on the field which aren't right. We're in £200 million of debt. Or something
is that true?
That the Glaziers have put us in. We have been for a number of years now, even before Fergie left, which isn't good. We've got the board are a bit fragmented. We've got a man in charge that's a great businessman, no doubt, in Ed Woodward, because he won't get up to this level if he wasn't a good businessman. But he knows nothing about football. With the board, the club is run by how the owners are, and also the board that the owners put in place. And this is off the field matters, as in the board aren't in a good spot. They don't make the right decisions. They don't, the club, which then filters down to the footballers on the field. If there's not a good atmosphere around the club, then they're not going to perform at their best. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse as to why we perform like we did today, but I think the up and down nature that you talk about the football club, with of the football being played, with no doubt some very talented individuals that you've just mentioned for a lot of money, because the club's in an up and down state, so is the football. There's a lot. You look at Leicester, right? They don't have the most money in the world. They don't own countries like cities owners or whatever. But they are a very settled football club. From top to bottom, that's top from the owners and the board, to the bottom being of the chain being the cleaning staff, being, the players, the manager. Everybody knows the roles there. So it means that the club get the best out of the team and the staff around them. There's a good vibe around there. But around the whole club. But with United, we're very up and down. There's always something going on. Board members not happy. I mean, you only have to look at what's going on at Barcelona. Barcelona are a giant football club, and the president's got problems. Eric Abidal. Nobody likes the president. Eric Abidal left as a board director. A couple of others left, and it's caused problems right throughout the football club. And people seem to think that the players should be immune to what's happening at the football club, as in board level and stuff like that, and the manager and the players and the coaching staff or physios, whatever, are all in a different bubble to the rest of the club. But they're not. They're not because if the club's not a happy place, then don't forget the footballers, managers, coaches, whoever, they're all employees of the club at the end of the day. So if the club's not in a great place, I'm not saying we're in a dire position. You look at one of the richest clubs in the world, but it's not a happy club. It's not a happy club, and that filters down to the employees, both on and off the pitch.
Yeah, I agree completely. So, what needs to change?
Where do you start? I mean, for one, it's very difficult from an outside point of view to go, yeah, you're not good enough. As in people at the club, I'm not on about the footballers necessarily. It's very, we only see the football inside. We see 11 men plus the coaches plus the subs. We don't see, you just look at the Tottenham documentary. We've had an insight as to what goes on behind closed doors at a football club. Yeah. There's a lot that goes on.
And the Man City one as well.
It's very difficult for me to turn around that. Yeah. And it's very... Now, every club's going to have their ups and downs. I'm not saying that Leicester, just because they are in a healthy position, there's no doubt about that. Well, they'll still have their disagreements and the up and downs. That's going to happen. But in general, we're a happy football club. It's healthy to have a bit of to be inflamed as a football club, irritated, can do you good every now and again because it gives everybody a wake up call.
100%. I agree.
But when it's happening consistently, it starts to. So what needs to change is very difficult for me to sit here and say, well, that director's not good enough, that director's not good enough, because I don't know the people. I don't know the sporting director. I know his name, but I don't know much about him. So it's very difficult. We have a very as football fans. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe I could try and give it a go as a neutral. I could try and say what I think I see, because I think the problem is like, as a fan of a football club, particularly for fans like us, Sam, right? You're a United fan, but you know where the problems are and you know what the issue is, right? In that same regard, it's very hard to not look at a team that you love and you respect and you've supported all your life. It's very hard to not look at it with rose-coloured glasses. I'm saying.
Of course, because you're biased as well. It's natural. You love a club. You're gonna want to protect that club, aren't you?
So with
all your heart.
I'll give it a go very quickly, and I'm just gonna say, I don't know if I've made it. I don't know if I've made it too clear on the show or not. Some people that know me, specifically Sam and Will, they both not got a great opinion of United. But I'm going to be honest, as a football fan in general, for me, United, as much as it pains me to say, because it does, because I think there are clubs that have done more for the English game that aren't as well known. I think United are the cornerstone of English football. You look back, you look at the Busby Babes, I know the Munich disaster wasn't a good thing, but it hit headlines, it caused controversy, and was massive in the papers and on the news and stuff. Then you look at players like George Best, Dennis Law, Bobby Charlton, and then you go even further.
I think you probably put Liverpool you probably put Liverpool in that same.
Yeah, I agree. You could put Liverpool there. You can put Nottingham Forest in there. You can put Villa in there. Maybe even Arsenal.
Yeah, I just mean in terms of success.
Yeah.
I just mean then obviously they're massive club. Villa are a massive club. Don't get me wrong. I just meant in terms of globally, people have heard of Liverpool and Man United. Arsenal, yes, but in a later thing. But from a historical sense, you're looking at United and Liverpool.
I think. I think historically, the three main ones for me, because of what it did for football at that time. Historically, the three most important clubs are United. In fact, I'm going to say four: United, Liverpool, Forest, and Villa. Because Forest, I know you're not a football historian, Will, but Forest in the 70s and 80s were.
Oh, of course, Brian Clough, yeah.
Unstoppable, and Brian Clough took Forest from the old Division 2
to Europe, to the European Cup, yeah,
to European winners. I think they won the European Cup like 3 times. Twice they won it. Okay,
they won it twice on the bounce.
Well, yeah.
Won it.
So
they won it 3 times, I think, but twice in consecutive seasons.
Yeah, don't worry, boys. I do know that. Yeah.
Anyway, to go back to the point I was making, because I've sort of veered off there a little bit. Sorry. The point I was making being, you look at where was I? Dennis Law. Then you're looking at like the 80s and Fergie coming in, and they were a poor side, really. Then you're looking at players like Mark Hughes, Paul Parker, Steve Bruce, Cantona, Sharp, Beckham, the Nevilles. I nearly said Owen, but he did come in, but he wasn't good then. Giggs, Scholes. There's too many to name. Cole. Over the years, there's just been so many that's sort of the point I'm making, is that United, if there was a club to represent English football, you would say it is United. And has it hurt English football that United aren't on top anymore? No. But what it has done is, for United, they've lost. If I was any team going to United, I wouldn't be afraid, and I think that is because of a couple of key things which I'm going to mention.
We've lost the fear factor. We've lost. You talked to Gary Neville, and when Arsenal, when they played Arsenal. And I think it was at Highbury actually, but the Vieira and Neville incident where Roy Keane got involved, they said that where Vieira picked on Gary Neville, he said that happened a lot because we'd beaten teams a lot before we'd even stepped out onto the pitch, and that's not the same anymore. Teams come and they see some good players, but not really a team, and a bang average team, and let's have a go at them because they're fragile. So
yeah, I mean, for me, the obvious thing that is on the pitch is, to me, and I've said it before, there are 2 managers in the modern English game, and you could even go as far back as like the 80s and the 70s if you want, and then in which case you can add quite a few more, Shankly, Paisley, Clough, players like that. But certainly in the Premier League era, there are 2 main managers, and that is Arsene Wenger and Alex Ferguson. Now, with Alex Ferguson leaving, is obviously going to be an issue. The good thing United did is there was a lot of continuity when Moyes came in. A lot of the same players stayed, but obviously there were issues there. That being
The
said,
backroom staff here,
yeah,
the backroom, just to cut across you there, Barkley scored 5-1.
oh dear.
The stunning strike. The uh, the the issue there is when Moyes came in, he actually got rid of a lot of the backroom staff,
Yeah.
which I get bringing in your own staff and stuff, but you should have people in there that know the club. We got rid of Nick Phelan,
I mean,
Rennie Mullenstein, people that have been successful with Ferguson. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't have brought in his own staff as well, but he got rid of some key people.
yeah, let's just say that very quickly that a manager is well within his rights to bring in their own staff. That's not what we're saying, but what we're saying is coaches can be at clubs for 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, look at Pat Rice, for example, from Arsenal. Look at players in the boot rooms that can be there for 30 years and stuff like that. I mean, staff in the boot rooms. So that sort of thing does chip away at a club. I think another thing as well, if we're going to talk about it, is obviously the Glazers and Ed Woodward. The way, if you don't know, the way a football club works is the chief executive basically, or from my understanding, I've seen it in a couple of situations. I've seen it from the City point of view. I've seen it from the Tottenham point of view. I've seen it in a Leeds documentary as well. I've seen it in a Sunderland documentary. So I think I've got a basic idea of our chief, of our whatever Ed Woodward is supposed to be works, because it's people aren't really sure. But basically, what they're meant to do is run the club, and one of the main things about running the club is making sure that owners invest in the owners' money. The owners will tell you, you have this much money to spend, and spend it. And then it's up to the chief executive who to sign. It's not. So in some situations they will work closely with the manager. In some situations they won't. The Glazers altogether, all there is to say about them is it's very, very clear that they don't care about Manchester United at all, and haven't, because despite the fact that they've thrown money at it and things like that, you don't see the owner in the stand like you do with Abramovich, or you used to do with
the
people
Leicester owner before he died.
Yeah, people like Abramovich, people like the Everton owner, what the hell is his name? Bill Kenwright, the actor.
Oh, his name's Fiorad Mashiri, isn't he now?
Yeah, I was thinking about the old one. Sorry, Bill Kenwright used to do it a lot.
The Wigan one.
Elton John was there all the time.
The Wigan one.
When he was owner of Watford, Delia Smith.
What was his name? The Wigan one. What was he called?
I know who you're on about. I can't. Dave. Oh,
he was always there.
Dave. I want to say it's Dave Whelan. Dave Whelan. Yeah, that sounds about right. But one of the key points about from a brand standpoint as well as a media standpoint, your owner has to be there at least some of the matches, at least some. Even the City owner, he owns a country or something stupid like that. But even he turns up for the odd game every now and again. I mean, fair play to the bloke. He lives in fucking Saudi Arabia. Go on.
Yeah, he does, and he travels all that way. Going back to the Tottenham documentary, me and my dad were talking about it. I have no idea who Tottenham's owner is. I won't recognise him if I pass him. No, he's not the owner. He's the chairman.
Oh, is he? Who's the owner?
Yeah. I have no idea who owns Tottenham Hotspur. Daniel Levy is employed by the club to run the club.
Yeah, like what's United? Not United. Chelsea's version. He's called Bruce Butt, isn't he? And then there's that Marino as well. He's a part of it.
He sees over everything to do with it. Look, but he's not the owner.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have a clue who Tottenham's owner is.
Anyway, the basic point being that I think a big part of it is having the owner on side. But I think
5-2, by the way.
5-2. How many minutes left?
60 gone, 30 left.
Oh, it could still happen. Count nothing out. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, who has the meetings about the signings or the decisions with managers or anything like that? Or because I just don't understand. I don't get it. Like, United don't play bad football. Not just that, but the money isn't poorly invested. That's what you're saying about not understanding what the issue is. I completely understand, because, like I said, on paper the signings are great. The money's being spent. You look at the managers as well.
Paper doesn't win you football matches.
No,
paper does not win you football.
No, fair enough. But what I'm saying is, then you look at the managers, proven winners as well. Every manager, apart from Moyes.
Not Ollie.
Apart from
Moyes.
Moyes and Ollie, every manager, that's Mourinho and Van Gaal. Van Gaal's won everything there is to win. So's Mourinho.
I agree.
It just baffles me. I think it was right of the club to take a chance on David Moyes. Why not? I think it's right for the club to take a chance on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think that's what they should have done. Bring a former player in earlier on, because former players understand the club better than anybody.
And that comes back to understanding a football club. You look at Ed Woodward, who's made millions and billions of pounds, been a great businessman. But one thing I really got about Daniel Levy is he might be a bit of a stickler. But as the chairman, I know chairman and chief executive are slightly different, but as that sort of role, Daniel Levy knows he understands football, is constantly in contact with the managers. He was talking to Mourinho about Eriksen's contract and the players training well and not well. So he's in there. You look at Ed Woodward, and as successful as he is, there's no denying it, from a business sense, he doesn't seem to know anything about football. And that when you're a chief executive of a football club, no matter how successful you are and how good at running your business you are, if you don't do your homework or know anything about football, or obviously he knows the rules, but I mean takes no interest in football and just the business side of it, then for me he's not going to be as successful, and the club isn't as he should be, because he's not willing to learn about the club and about the game.
Yeah. Now, with all that being said...
That has a knock-on effect. Carry on.
With all that being said, I think it's important to try and understand why the players aren't performing.
Well, I think it's a mixture of all those things. Like I said before, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of off the field issues. Again, that they're employees of the football club. Like I said before, the balance of the football club isn't right, so that all affects the players. Transfers aren't being done, that affects the dressing room. The dressing room becomes unhappy. It all filters down the coaching might not be right, the balance of the squad might not be right. It could be a number of factors, playing and non-playing factors,
Right.
that are all coming together. Right?
So let me ask you this, because that segues perfectly into what I was on about. What I wanted to talk about before we finished, which is United and transfers, right? So this season in particular, there's been a lot said about United's lack of spending. So for me, and I said this straight away as soon as it was being talked about, as soon as it was very first being talked about, Sancho was never going to happen. Now,
I never believed it was either.
straight away, we know exactly where United need to strengthen. They've got a good goalkeeper. They've got a good goalkeeper that can play there in Henderson. I think that is exactly who they need for at least a few games. If he plays well in those few games, keep him in. Because De Gea, to me, if that was me...
6-2.
Oh, Jesus.
Jack Grealish.
If that was me, if I was... We'll talk about that game once it finishes. If that was me, if I was De Gea, and I could see the spaces between the back four, Luke Shaw out of position, Aaron Wan-Bissaka jogging and not running back to defend, I would be going fucking ballistic. I would be going ballistic. And I just don't... It's like he's got no spine. Your goalkeeper has to be the loudest voice on the pitch. The two loudest voices on the pitch have to be two players, and that's your captain and your goalie. Do you know why? Because the goalie keeps the goals out, and the captain motivates the team and the whole. Motivates us. Who is United's captain today?
Maguire.
He was dog shit. He played the worst. He played the worst game of football I've ever seen. People talk about Luke Shaw and Eric Bailly. Luke Shaw and Eric Bailly didn't cost £80 million. Say what you want about Luke Shaw and Eric Bailly.
Everybody has bad games, but it was a lack of
yeah, but there's the issue. The issue is that there's a. Sorry for the interruption there. The problem is that there's so much expectation on Harry Maguire, and people go on about being England's best defender. I'd never play him again after a performance like that. It's absolutely shocking. If you're the captain, you're the strongest minded, you're the best at the job that you do, and you're a leader, not a lamb to slaughter. You're a leader, not a lamb to the slaughter like he was. Absolutely abysmal. And that to me is the thing. You look at Tottenham. They were hungry, they were aggressive, they were clinical. The passing was at it. They were pressed. It was just shocking. I have seen all the highlights now, by the way. So I can...
chalk and cheese. It was chalk and cheese. And two teams. And
I just, I don't even remember where I was up to. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, I was on about transfers, wasn't I, or something? Jadon Sancho never going to happen. If I was Ousmane Dembele, apparently the Arsenal talks with him, even though the other day I said he's turned around and said he's not going to go, because that's what I read. If I was Ousmane Dembele, I'd say fuck right off. You've got two good goalkeepers in Romero, who I think is the best number 3 at a club in the league right now. Potentially in the world, but that's something that gets said a lot. And I don't know who all the club's number 3s are. Maybe that's why it gets said a lot. It's just so bizarre that it's all about Sancho, Cavani, Dembele, Ismaila Sarr, Douglas Costa. It just beggars belief. Since, all the defensive players I've seen United linked with this window, Yuka Meccano, there's no way he's going to United after that performance, even though he said he's going to stay. He's going to stay at Leipzig for the season, which he probably will do. I'm watching Leipzig play at the minute on the highlights. They beat Schalke 4-0. Yuka Meccano played at the back. Ruben Diaz has gone to Man City. That's another one. Skriniar was going to Tottenham, but now he's staying at Milan. So you just look at everybody, apart from one player, who I think is actually probably the best of the defensive options mentioned, who is Telles. But he's the best because he had 19 goal involvements last season for Porto in the Portuguese league. That automatically, for me, raises questions because that just feels like, me and Sam earlier on off camera were talking about how good of a fullback, how for the style of play I would want to play as a manager, he's a brilliant fullback because he can defend just as well as he can attack. Now, the problem with, let's not dice around. Luke Shaw can't defend and he can't attack either. And Brandon Williams is a right-footed player playing at left back, which doesn't make sense. And either way, he's too attacking anyway. So to get another left back that isn't an all-round good player just seems strange. And then, not even to mention Cavani. What is the point in Cavani? What is the point in buying Cavani? Genuinely, what is the point? Martial.
Good player, but he's not what we need.
Brilliant player, but he's 33 years old and he got released by PSG, who their only decent option up front now, PSG at the minute, by the way, their only decent option is Mauro Icardi. Why they even got rid of their top goal scorer of all time, I really don't know. Stupid, beggars belief. But is a 33-year-old man.
They've got Neymar. They've got Neymar and Mbappe.
Oh, that's true, but Mbappe plays on the wing nowadays, unless the point is that you're going to try and bring him in a bit more centrally. But the point being is, he's a 33-year-old man who spent 5 seasons in a Farmers League. You're really going to cut it in the Premier League? Yes, he is world class. Yes, he is. But as we've seen, Werner, Havertz, all these class players that have never played in the Premier League before that come here have taken time to adapt. And have United got time? Has Ollie got time? Has Ollie got time to bring in high-profile names and have another one misfire? You look at Martial, you look at the money he's spent and how much he's done. You'd say he's had a decent United career, but decent for 50 million isn't enough. You look at Pogba, you think 88 million, 100 million euros. You're thinking, that's dreadful. You know what I mean? Maguire, 80 million. Biggest, I bet the Leicester board were probably laughing all the way to the bank. I just don't understand. It's dreadful. It's dreadful business. It's dreadful.
No, Harry Maguire is a good defender.
He's a good defender, but 80 million is great. He's one of the most expensive players in the world.
Yeah, but nobody's worth 80 million. It's the false prices they put on players. Ollie Watkins has just gone from Brentford for 35 million. Good player, but the world of football's gone mad. If you want a decent centre half like Maguire, who I agree with you is not world class, but he's good in his position, then 80 million is what the standard procedure is. The prices are going up. So you look at Championship players now, the ones at the top end in our second tier, you're paying 35 million for them.
No, I agree. But But that's the point, right? Ollie Watkins comes in to Villa. I know that this season's been mad, but he's got what? 1, 2. He's got 5 goals this season already. Yeah, 2 of them are in the cup, but he scored a hat trick against, for me, the best club side in the world right now.
Grealish has scored 7-2.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
My God.
I mean, what is there to say about that? Oh dear me.
What's going on? What is going on at the moment?
Like
we've said, just quickly, there's something in this. Why are defenders not defending? Why are we seeing so many high-scoring games anyway?
Part of it's to do with VAR, I imagine, and fouls and stuff. But just to go back to whatever, and I know I've been going on a bit of a rant, but I just don't. My problem with football is sometimes you have just got to be able to strip things back to basics and to do the basics. And
of course.
And it's
of course you have.
It's so, I can say this because Chelsea haven't played great. It's frustrating to see players, they can do all these fancy flicks and tricks, but ask them to pass 5 yards and they pass it out for a throw. It's just, it's ridiculous. Why on earth, when you've seen the horror show of the week from Maguire and Bailly, who I feel really sorry for, because he just hasn't been match fit for about 2 seasons. How are you looking at that and saying? How are you looking at that and saying, "Oh yeah, let's bring in Cavani"? It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh yeah, we just conceded 6 at Tottenham. I know what'll help. Jadon Sancho. Fuck off. He doesn't want you. Why would he want that? Sort your defence out.
To be honest, I think we're actually gonna get away with this defeat after Liverpool's display.
No, I think you're probably right. But have Villa played well or have Liverpool played poorly?
Both.
Whereas Will's having the time of his life, it sounds like.
It's the Liverpool result. It's just so funny.
And Watkins was just clear. Watkins was just clear again. Then Adrian just saved it off the post.
Oh, that could have been 8-2. Anyway, continue on, boys.
I mean, the one thing I want to ask of you, Sam, is you've heard my opinions on it, and now all I want to ask you is, why do you think that the focus has been on Sancho, on Dembele, on Cavani, when it should be on players like, your Upamecano or your Ruben Diaz or your Skriniar? Why on the attacking players? When United, to me, have a better group of young players, man for man, than Chelsea do.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think it's just to paper over the cracks, to be honest. I do. I just think I don't think any defenders want to come to United, so they think, well, the way to stop conceding goals is outscore the opposition. But if you can't defend, as we've seen with Liverpool today, now I'm not saying Liverpool are bad defenders because they're champions of the Premier League, but they're not defended today. And if you can't defend, it doesn't matter how many attacking players you have on the pitch. It just. And then there's the thing about what we talked about Chelsea. If we bring all these attacking players in, then the team could be unbalanced. You have to have a mixture.
Yeah,
I was watching Stuart Dallas was watching for Stuart Dallas for Leeds last night. Now he's not the most technically gifted player, and you know he's not, but he works hard. And you need. I tell you what, if he wasn't in the Leeds team, they'd miss him because he works hard. He's got the right attitude. So you need the balance in it. Click's a good player, but first and foremost, he's good at what he does. Same with Milner. You know, these players, you need players like that in your team and in your squad. And I think there's too much of an obsession. There's too much of an obsession just to finish with attacking players. And I think it's all about attack. Go on.
Let me just ask you another question, right? Which is, Chelsea and City the same. City have done it as well. Arsenal haven't done it, but Arsenal are guilty of it in the past of spending the money on the attacking players and not the defensive players. But in fairness to City, they knew their defence was bad. They signed 2 defenders. You know, in fairness to Chelsea, they knew their defence was bad. They knew they had 2 below par left backs. They signed Chilwell. They signed Thiago Silva. Yeah, he didn't do great, but they still signed him. Arsenal knew their defence wasn't great. They signed Gabriel. He looks like a great signing. Is it?
I agree, and there's a difference.
Is it that the money? You know, is it that people are, players are looking at United and they just don't see what they used to do anymore?
I just think there's definitely an element with that. Where you're right, Will.
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah.
He's having the best time of his life.
And the one thing I would say, yes, I'd say that we are not as attractive as we used to be. You know, there's no doubt that if Fergie was there or Mourinho, in my mind, even with the ball being the way they are, the Jadon Sancho deal would have been done. Because Man United would have paid the money. Alright, we said we want defenders, but I'm just doing it as an example. United would have paid the money, and United are a bigger club than Dortmund overall. Played the better football, so under Fergie, great. Next step in my career. Thanks, Dortmund. Thanks, Dortmund. I'll go to United. But now it's not a now United aren't, in my opinion, on a footballing level as good as Dortmund. So why bother? Go on.
Very quickly, sorry. We're talking about PSG and a lack of strikers. They just signed Moise Kean on loan.
Say again?
We're talking about PSG and a lack of strikers. They've just signed Moise Kean on loan.
They've signed Moise Kean?
Yeah. And also, something else to think about just quickly that I've just seen. This is for tomorrow. So tomorrow is deadline day for clubs. The trading between England and Europe, whereas the deadline day for the Premier League and the EFL is the 16th of October. So I don't know whether that changes what you want to do tomorrow or anything.
I'm a bit confused because deadline day is tomorrow.
No. So, deadline day reminder, 11 PM tomorrow night is the deadline for all international registrations in England. This also includes all deals between Premier League clubs. So, Premier League clubs, oh right, okay, I see. So, Premier League clubs from tomorrow, after 11, can't do deals with each other or other teams in Europe. But Premier League clubs can buy and sell players to EFL clubs until October the 16th.
All right. So it is the deadline for the Premier League.
It's
then.
the deadline for the Premier League. For players between the Premier League, sorry.
Yeah, and anybody in Europe.
Yeah. Sorry to...
So, for instance, just to clear that up, then, if Man United signed, I don't know. Let me think about this. So, say if we wanted to sign Upamecano on Tuesday, we couldn't do it.
You could still. You could. Yeah, no, you couldn't.
Because the deadline shuts for Premier League clubs, but EFL players can still go to the Premier League,
so
can
let's
they?
say if Palace wanted to sign Ben Rama next Saturday, they could do it.
Yeah, I see. So it is still worth doing the deadline because it's, well...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It definitely is.
He's still up for tomorrow, Will?
Yeah, I am, mate, yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
else?
and if you're not well, I'll do it.
Yeah, anything else that you think we need to talk about before we go on to Liverpool and Villa? Very quickly.
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah. No, if you're going on to Liverpool and Villa, let's go on to that. I was just going to say, why... There must be a reason why defences are struggling so much at the moment, and I can't get my head around it.
I feel like that.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I feel like we can tie that in with the Liverpool and Villa thing, though. So, yeah,
Go on,
I
then.
think that is the best place to start. You know, United have conceded 6 today. Liverpool have conceded 7. Fulham have conceded 1. Sheffield United conceded 2, West Brom conceded 2, and Leicester conceded 3. And if you look at the table, which, I don't think it's worth doing, I'm just going to say, until the first game back after the international break. But if you look at the table, Man United is 16th, Man City are 14th, Liverpool are 5th. So the table's on its head, If Burnley, Sheffield United, and Fulham all win on the next game they play, and United lose, United are in the bottom 3. I don't know. Go on.
I was just gonna say, but I don't mean the goal just today. I mean, a couple of weeks ago we saw a record number of goals going, which can happen in any weekend, I get that, but the levels of goals conceded and the way they've been conceded to start the season, defences don't look like they've got a clue. And why is that? Why is it?
In some situations,
it can't be coincidence. It can't be coincidence. There's no way that you're going to convince me that these goals are just going in because of coincidence. Because these are unbelievable.
In some situations, sorry Sam, in some situations, the quality of the league has gone up. And that can be a lot in some senses. It can be a lot for defenders to deal with. But, there's no joke about that, right? Because the quality of the league has gone up. I mean, look at.
But then you could say it's gone down. But has
the quality defensively gone down because the quality in attack has gone up? In Everton's,
yes.
In Everton's case, I think.
Both.
Did you see the quality of the little back heel flick James Rodriguez did. It came to him on the volley, and he backheeled it on the volley to the Everton player. How is a defender going to deal with that? How's a defender going to intercept that?
And I understand your point, and I understand there's been some extraordinary goals, and the level of attacking play has gone up, there's no doubt. But you must have seen it, that some of the defending has been shambolic.
No,
I mean, the room players have got all of a sudden.
I'm not debating that you're wrong. What?
I'm just watching it. Sorry, Martinez has just played the ball to add to Grealish, who only had 2 players to beat, and he was in on goal then. How can that be allowed to happen?
I'm not arguing or trying to drive a point home or, trying to give you an alternative point of view. What I'm saying is I agree completely with what you're saying, but I think it works both ways. The quality of defending has gone down, but that's correlated to the quality in attack. How a defender?
I agree, but
how a defender?
I just want your opinion.
Yeah, go on. And all I was going to say was, how is a defender?
I just want your
Go on.
I just want your opinion on why you think, yes, the quality of attacking play has gone up, I agree, but why is the defensive play so poor in some instances where the attacking play has not been really anything and teams are still getting done with, you could say, schoolboy errors? Why is that? I get moments of brilliance like the Rodriguez, like the Basuma. We've seen some great goals that the defence could do nothing about. I get that. But why are we seeing so many defensive mistakes by every team over and over and over and over again?
I think that's a really interesting debate, and it's one that I don't think even people whose job it is to sit and debate about stuff like this could give you an answer to that. Part of, I think there's still a hangover from Project Restart. Players still didn't get enough time to get at full fitness. Frank Lampard said he didn't think his Chelsea side was going to be at full fitness till after the international break, and they just beat Palace 4-0. I think it's also to do with the quality of the players. James Rodriguez, poor Tariq Mitchell or whatever his name was. How the hell is he supposed to cope when he's got Hudson-Odoi, who's lightning quick, down one wing, and Werner down the other? I think, again, it's hard to quantify that with a real answer because we don't have the stats or the fitness levels or anything like that to hand right now to give a genuine answer. But I would say it's a correlation of a lot of things. And one thing that you can say is that so far it's definitely been the most entertaining start to a season.
It has. You don't think any of the games are fixed, do you?
No, I think that even if you were going to match fix a game, for example, let's say, surely you wouldn't make it that convincing, because that's just embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't think that the coaches and the clubs will never sign up for that, would they?
No. Right, okay. I think that we're getting towards...
Game's over. Aston Villa 7, Liverpool 2.
I think that's a great way to just say the last thing I was going to say before we start wrapping up, which is... what went wrong for Liverpool today?
Well, I only saw the highlights, but they looked extremely open. And Villa just penetrated the high line over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Villa were very good, Liverpool were very bad.
There are a lot of teams playing really bad defensive tactics as well. Southampton.
That's what I mean. For all the quantity. Well, if Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand and John Terry were playing, there's no way they'd let in all the goals for letting in. You there?
So are you talking to me?
So I think we've lost. You there, JLI Wheels? I think we may have lost JLI Wheels momentarily.
Oh, he's back, I think.
Just to cover for JLI Wheels.
My internet completely died. It's okay.
JLI Wheels is back. And then back over to JLI Wheels.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, what went wrong for Liverpool today? Was it similar to United? Better or worse?
Yeah. The Aston Villa were great. Liverpool just got beaten over the top over and over and over and over again. Had a really high line, and were absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I just want to say, Will, just to be fair to Liverpool fans, you're sat there laughing about Liverpool, but United also got pretty embarrassed today.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, just some of the results just been crazy. That's why it's funny, just generally as a neutral.
Yeah, okay, I understand that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm laughing.
We are 2 points. 2 points above the relegation zone.
It is, no being silly. It is only 3 games gone, but it's a pretty horrendous start for a top 4 team.
It's been a pretty horrendous start for a lot of big clubs.
Yeah. You look at it now, and you look at the only big club that's done well. If you're thinking about the traditional sort of top 6, 7. The only 2 clubs I feel have done really well are Arsenal and Everton. And I mean,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, you look at Chelsea. Chelsea got 2 wins, a loss against the best team in the league, which I wouldn't complain about, and a draw against West Brom, where, to be fair, they scored 3 goals in about 20 minutes. So it's not Chelsea haven't done too bad either, and Tottenham are unbeaten as well. Let's not disrespect Tottenham in it.
They're not. They lost to Everton.
Oh yes, they did. That was who we missed out. That was who we missed out before, Will.
Yeah.
You think about it. Tottenham as well. You can't say they've had a bad start because they lost to the standout team in the league at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's a strange one. I wouldn't know what to put it down to. My instinct says fitness.
It's really bugging me.
My instinct says
really bugging me.
My instinct says fitness because the quality of the players that these teams have got. There's no way that managers aren't absolutely ripping into players. Surely, there's no way.
No, because we're in crazy times.
No.
If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Frank Lampard or Jurgen
we're in crazy times off the pitch.
Yes.
Yeah, you rip into him.
Pep Guardiola as well. We've seen what Pep Guardiola's like because of the Man City documentary, and we've seen the same about Mourinho, and we also know from Klopp's reputation that he'll tell a player if he's not happy. We know from the confrontations that Lampard's had with managers that he's really passionate about the club. He'll be fuming not from what he saw the other day, but definitely about the West Brom situation. And I'd hope that Ollie had an absolute rant at United as well. I don't think it's something that's going to carry on all season. Surely, if it does, then
No, it can't.
all those managers need
Order will have to be. Order will have to be restored at some point.
I think the amount of penalties being given and stuff like that, I think that adds to it. I'm just going to say that. But on that note, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a great position to finish.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, I agree. These are very strange times off the field, and certainly even stranger on the field. And that's just with the fact the transfer window has moved.
Now we're going to get to my favourite part. But before we do, I just want to say congratulations to Villa. Had a great start to the season. Bought really well, I think, for a club of their size. Deserved winners today, and that means they're second in the table now.
Prince William will be happy.
Oh, I imagine he's bloody loving it. I imagine
He's a Villa fan.
I imagine.
You're admitted, you know.
Yeah, I know. I imagine if in a couple of weeks Kate's pregnant again, we know why. Yeah.
Well, he said he swears when he watches them live sometimes. But he can't help it.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you know, he doesn't talk like that.
For fuck's sake, Jack, pass the fucking ball.
Yeah,
I wouldn't care if they went up to space.
That's nice. So.
You don't like them in the family, Will?
Oh, I love them. Most of them. I think Harry's a knobhead, but you know, you do whatever for a fit bird that's going to shut you up.
How do you not like the royal family? They're part of our institution.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not a royal family lover, but Anyway. Right, here we go. So that is the end of the live stream. If you've enjoyed this, this very different. I feel like it has been quite different. It's been quite heated. It's been a lot of discussion, a lot of honesty, a lot of brutality, and I feel like me and Sam have continued to show why this should be our channel and not Will's. It's basically it's our channel anyway. Just saying.
Yeah.
With that being said,
well,
yep.
I want a pay rise.
Yeah, I want fucking.
I want a pay rise.
And thank you, boys, for stepping in.
With that being said, what you can expect next from Tube Mix and Football Central is tomorrow, deadline day special. Time to be confirmed. Is it still or
7 till 10?
What
I think.
7
what
till
time?
10.
7 till 10.
Yeah.
Make sure you tune in. It's bound to be a hectic day.
7 till 10. And then we will probably be back to do the review show as well. I'm working on Thursday, so I can't do Thursday. Me and Sam can do Friday, and so can I. I don't know whether you can, Will.
Well, yeah, I'd be okay to do Friday. I mean, I presume my cold would be gone by then, but in case it still is with me, which I hope the Lord that it isn't, then yeah, you guys would have to step in again. But
if it's still there by then, you've definitely got COVID.
Not necessarily. Sometimes it can just take you a long time to shake off the cold.
Well, get yourself tested.
So yeah, Friday will be the next review show, and then we'll be potentially doing some live coverage of the England games. There are 3 of them, and that is Denmark, Belgium, and Wales. Um, and then everything else from then. Don't know. There are some big games coming up after the international break. The Merseyside derby, which I think is going to be probably the most important Merseyside derby over the last couple of years.
It's going to be the best Merseyside derby. It's going to be the best Merseyside derby in years.
Yeah, I agree.
Arguably. The most tense, anyway.
I think that could be one that we should cover if we can.
Excuse me.
However, that is everything that you can expect from the Tube Mix and Football Central. I have been your host, Jordan, also known as JLI Wheels. Thank you very much for your company, Mr. Sam Taylor and Mr. Tube Mix, aka Will.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed every single minute of it. Thanks for listening to me
Thank
rant.
you. Mr. Lightning Boy on YouTube.
Today, just a little bit, but I think that with the sorry state of affairs we have seen from clubs over the last couple of weeks in terms of defending and letting goals in and conceding, I think something needs to be said and something needs to be done, especially when it's the big clubs. On that note, if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, because we love a conversation. We'd love to have a conversation with you, even if you ask us something weird, like what kind of cheese we like, or why is Will such a weirdo? We can't even answer that question.
What type of ladyboy does Jordan like? You can ask, and we'll answer.
All of them, I'll take them all. Like they said in Harry Potter, I'll take the lot. Don't forget.
And he'll also take Tube Mix himself.
With a don't forget as well, if you've enjoyed this video, to subscribe to the channel. We've done a lot of these recently, and we've covered quite a lot of football, so there's a lot to work through if you have been. If you have viewed, I don't think that many people do. I think half the views come from me. But yeah, if you have viewed and you are working,
well, maybe we need to make some changes at the top. See you later, Tube Mix.
Oh, steady on, boys.
But yeah, so if you have been watching and you do like what you see, then please subscribe, and don't forget, if you do like it, to share with your mates. You know, get it on Facebook, get it on Twitter, get it on Instagram, put it on fucking WhatsApp, MySpace, Bebo, Wikipedia, whatever. Get it on whatever you want. Get it shared about.
No excuses now, people.
Get it shared about.
No excuses. Get it done.
And we'll see you next time. From myself, Jordan, aka JLI Wheels, from Sam Taylor, and from Mr. Tube Mix, the man, the myth, the dickhead. Thank you and good night.